Today's video is brought to you by the good people over at patriotpost.us. They are an excellent source of news information, op-eds, and all that good stuff. And a link for them will be in the description box. So when you head over there and subscribe, tell them that ABL sent you. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a mass shooting that injured at least 13 people. Not quite sure if anybody has died as of yet, but 13 people have been shot. The shooter has been captured, yet you probably have not heard about it at all. Why have you not heard about it? Now, before I even get into that, let's go ahead and roll the news clip. This is in Chicago, Englewood area, so you already kind of know where I'm going with this particular story. After we get done watching the video clip, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said in the clip. I'll give you my analysis, my 2 cents, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
A chaotic scene overnight in Englewood.
767 Charlie, the whole house is going to be a crime scene. The whole house, there's blood everywhere.
13 people were shot. The youngest victim, 16 years old.
I heard the sounds of people screaming and running from a party down the street.
Chicago police say officers responded after gunshots were detected by a shot spotter after 12:30 this morning on South May Street near West 57th.
People started to spill out, and as they spilled out, more shots were fired. We saw an individual on the pod firing. At that time, more shots were fired at another location.
The group of people originally gathered to honor a 22-year-old man who was shot and killed in April while attempting a carjacking in the South Loop. Police say he was shot by the victim, a 41-year-old concealed carry license holder. At some point in the gathering, police say an argument broke out, and that's when the shooting started.
What dispute was it? I mean, what were you arguing about? I mean, what did you pull the gun for? I mean, for what? You have no reason.
Earlier today at Canaan Community Church, Mayor Lori Lightfoot told parishioners the city stands with Englewood just after she visited victims in the hospital.
They're in pain, not just physical pain, and that's true, but emotional pain.
Marciano White is charged with a felony after police searched him at the scene, and they say they found a gun, but no word yet if White was one of the possible shooters.
Safer communities are better communities. We don't want this for our children, not on their Christmas break. I don't want children to remember this as this was their welcome to their Christmas holiday.
Okay, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, you see what's going on here, right? You see exactly what's happening. A lot of black folks get shot. Black male's the shooter. So we can't talk about this in the media at all. You just gotta leave it alone. Don't touch it, because if you touch the story, there are a couple of things that could happen. The first thing is you're labeled as a racist. Or you want to talk about black crime? What about white on white crime? All this and that. You're considered a racist. You're considered a bigot. You're considered hateful for pointing out a mass shooting. Let's be clear. The media have defined a mass shooting as an incident where at least 4 people get shot at once. This was 13 people at minimum, and the crime scene was horrific. You heard the police officer, hey, the whole house is a crime scene. There's blood everywhere. I mean, this is a mass shooting, but we're not hearing about it too much at all, because like I said, you cannot touch this story with a 10-foot pole if you're the mainstream media, lest you be labeled as a racist, hateful, intolerant, bigoted, and every other obic ober is in the world. But beyond that, they don't want to touch it because they want to push a particular narrative. And what is that narrative? Well, we all know what the narrative is. The narrative is that, number one, the guns are bad. Not the people that shoot them, but the guns themselves. Well, also the people that shoot the guns, because the second part of that is you got to blame the white man, you know, white supremacy. Or imagine if it were a white guy. He could have been just a regular white guy in the hood that knew all these people. But imagine if he were a white guy that went to this party and shot 13 black people. He'd be Dylan Roof. I mean, isn't that what happened with Dylan Roof? He went to the black church and shot all those innocent black people. We hear about him every single day. Charlottesville, same thing. And that wasn't even a white on black attack. That was white on white, and one person died. We hear about that every single day, because the narrative about white supremacy and evil white man, that is bigger than the loss of actual life. The people that die are really irrelevant in the minds of the media and those that want to push a particular narrative. They don't really care about those that pass away. They're more concerned about pushing a message. If they cared about those that would pass away in a situation like this, then they'd be covering these incidents when they happen. This shooting with 13 people that have been shot is not the only time in recent history where there have been mass shootings that have not been covered by the mainstream media. It's not the first time, nor will it be the last time. But it's an important time because of how severe it was. 13 people. Also, the main thing the media will try to push is gun control. Okay, we got to have tighter gun control. We got to get rid of the guns. But Chicago has some of the strictest gun laws in the nation. Now, I know some people would say the whole Barack Obama line, or they go to Indiana, they fill up a van with guns, and then they park on the street and then sell the guns for less than retail, which makes no sense. But I digress. My point is that they'll say that guns come from other places, or they're bought, for somebody else, through somebody else in a different place. That's illegal. You can't just go buy guns legally and then sell them on the street illegally. That's called, a straw purchase. You can't do that. So they're talking about needing more laws to prevent guns from coming into the community, yet the laws that are there are being violated every single day. A guy that was actually at the party and shot a lot of people, or may have been shooting in general, got arrested on a gun charge. And he probably had been in jail before. He was like 30-something years old, hanging out with people that were younger, 16 years old. And then the party itself was for a guy that got killed by a concealed carry permit holder after he tried to carjack the concealed carry permit holder. The young boy that got killed, 22 years old, 41-year-old concealed carry holder, killed him. And how much you wouldn't bet the concealed carry holder was another black male trying to protect himself from this young, crazy black male. But people in the community want to celebrate him. See, we don't want to talk about the real issue here. The real issue is a degenerate culture in a lot of these areas, and a lot of us that don't want to be a part of that, we got to move away. We move and then we get accused of not wanting to be around the black community. There are certain toxic elements of people that live in this country that you can't really be around lest you be victim to a thing like this, okay? Who wants to be ducking and dodging bullets for no real reason? Like, why must you be ducking and dodging these bullets? Why? For what? What is the benefit to this? I don't see an upside here. This is a crazy thing that has been going on for quite a long time. The media don't want to talk about it. People on the left that control these areas don't want to talk about it. The mayor, Lightfoot, she doesn't want to talk about it. They just kind of want to leave it alone and just let these things happen. Okay. These are liberal areas where the black community is just in shambles. It doesn't have to be that way, but it is. And about gun control, that whole thing, we know is phony. Okay. It's all about just trying to gain control through the government over you as an individual. When you don't have the right to protect yourself with a gun, with a firearm, you are helpless and you're left to rely upon the government to protect you, even though they can't. And it's really a shame. Hopefully the mainstream media at a certain point will cover all these instances the same of a mass shooting, loss of life, injury, or whatever the case may be. I saw more coverage of the 64 car pileup in Virginia, where I'm from, than this mass shooting where 13 people got shot at a house party. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think the media are intentionally ignoring stories like this due to not wanting to push a narrative in favor of a different narrative? If that's your particular viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Have you heard about this story before you heard it from me right here today? Okay. If you have, that's really a shame because, like I said, you have these mass shootings that happen. The coverage of the mass shooting will depend upon who's involved. Okay. And in my humble opinion, if you're an innocent person, an innocent human being, your life is as important as the next person. There's no hierarchy among life if you're an innocent person. Now, if you're not an innocent person, like let's say you didn't kill people, rape people, or whatever. I mean, I look at you as less than an innocent person. It is what it is. But innocent people minding their own business, catching stray bullets, 13 people getting shot. What are we really doing here? This is a crazy thing, but hey, now you further understand my viewpoint when I say that the media are biased and they only want to cover certain things to push their particular viewpoints. That is it, and that is all. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.